Hi, my name is Ariella Giniger, and I'm here to talk to you about women wage peace. I've lived in this country all my life. When I was 20 and serving in the Army, the Yom Kippur War broke, 1973. This was a defining moment for me and for most of my generation. I thought I knew what wars are all about. 3 years ago, during Operation Edge, now as a mother of 4 and a grandmother of 5, my youngest son, a combat fighter in an elite unit in the Army, one of my son-in-laws flying helicopters in and out of the Gaza Strip, and 5 young grandchildren running to air raid shelters, it was so much worse. I felt I could not breathe. I made up my mind I would do anything in my power for this to never happen again. Unsurprisingly, I met a group of women who felt exactly the same, and I joined Women Wage Peace. When we began the movement, we were unsure whether we should include the word peace in its name. For many years, the word peace was associated in this country with Israel's left. We wanted a movement that will include all women, right, left, and center. Today, peace is back as a common wish. True, many times the wish is followed by no partner, it's not realistic, but anybody we speak to says he wants peace, he or she. Women Wage Peace is a grassroots movement. It has one goal: to reach a bilateral political agreement between Israel and the Palestinians. An agreement, not a settlement or an arrangement, an honorable agreement that respects both sides. It can be done. Operation Edge ended with an agreement, and we have agreements with the Palestinians all the time, regulating daily life in the West Bank and its relationship with Israel. We can reach an honorable agreement between both those two sides. So that's our one goal. We have 2 objectives. The first is diversity. It's very important for us to have in our movement women from all political parties, left, right, and wing, and center, as I said, but also religious, secular, Haredi, women from the center of Israel, and women from peripheral towns, new immigrants from all countries. We need the movement to embrace all parts of Israeli society. The wish for peace is shared by all women. The second object is endorsing the 1325 UN resolution. This resolution from year 2000 talks about the involvement of women in peacemaking process. Israel, by the way, was the first country to endorse it. We demand women to be involved in every stage of the process. And we have examples from many countries where the involvement of women facilitated the peace process. For example, Liberia, where actually it led the peace process, Northern Ireland, and other places. Women should be heard. We raise children. We know how to protect them up to the age of 18. It doesn't stop then. In Women Wage Peace, we train women to talk, and we want our members to be part of their negotiating team. So we have one goal, 2 objects, and 3 strategies. The first strategies is numbers. We believe if we have a lot of people, we'll be more influential. They won't have a choice but to listen to us, the more hundreds will be, or thousands. By the way, we have 15% men, and now we've reached about 22,000 registered members, and it's growing every day. Our other strategy is parallel to the numbers. We aim at engaging decision makers. We address and monitor members of parliament from all parties. We try to meet with all ministers and with the prime minister. We go to political rallies. We ask whoever speaks what is their view of the peace. What do they do for it? and try to keep the talk of an agreement with the Palestinians in the public eye. Whoever is in the government is responsible for doing everything in his power to bring us to the negotiating table. So whoever is in the government is our target to talk to. Our third strategy is that we have no plan. We don't endorse any specific plan. There's so many plans and programs for peace around. Very specific, very exact. Leaders talk about preconditions to a meeting. We say, come and meet with the other side. A lot of programs have very specific borders, decisions. People get into all the nitty-gritty little pieces of the agreement. We say, come open-handed, open ears, and especially an open heart. Be ready to listen, to really listen to the other side, and we say it to both sides. And something new will be created, something that emerges from both sides together. That's the shortcut of our message. Now, what do? We have some principles of operation. First, we're for, not against. We don't go against anybody. We have our aim, our goals, and that's what we go for. The second is we're a flat movement. Now, it's not so easy because we have very dominant women, but we try to move by acceptance of everybody. It's not easy. It's a flat movement, no leaders. We are pragmatic and not ideological. Of course, everybody has her ideology, but we leave it at home. We have a target, we have an aim, that's what we work for. We don't bring ideologies with us. We have a nice thing that used to be called she who proposes disposes, and now we changed it a little to she who proposes coordinates and disposes because we're so many. So if somebody comes up with an idea, it's not a place to come with ideas. You have an idea, you gotta pull it through. Well, you'll get all the help in the world. People will join you. But people come with an idea, and it's their responsibility to move forward with it. We obey the law. We don't go against the law. And we wear white and turquoise. So if you see us, you recognize us. We operate all over the country on a daily basis. There are things happening every day. For instance, today, 3 of us speak here in Talk 17. A whole bunch of us are down in Dimona in a rally with politicians. One of our members is part of the panel. And there are small meetings going on all the time. It's really an ongoing movement that works 24 hours a day. The things we do are screening. For example, we screen a movie about the struggle of the women of Liberia, and then we hold a discussion. We hold house parlor meetings all over the country. We meet with groups of settlers on the West Bank. We're forming groups of young women in the universities. We meet with new immigrants from Russia, from Ethiopia. We have one of our projects is making a quilt. Each one makes a same size square, something related to peace, and there is this woman who puts them together. We have thousands of pieces already. Her vision is for it to cover all the way from Jerusalem to Ramallah. We stand in junctions. We stand in shopping malls. At the moment, as you can see in the picture, we have a junction project. Every first Thursday of the month, we stand in about 140 junctions all over the country, encouraging the pursuit of an agreement. We initiated forming a lobby of women, peace, and security in the Knesset, and there are many more activities. Once a year, we have a big project. The first was fasting for 50 days, the length of Operation Edge, and the same dates, of course, outside the Prime Minister's home. Last year, we had the March of Hope. For 2 weeks, women were marching from Rosh HaNikra to Jerusalem. Wherever we were, we talked about the pursuit of a political agreement. We were joined by Nobel Prize laureate Leima Bowie, one of the leaders of the women of Liberia. I want to tell you about the last day. It started in Qasr el-Yahud. It's a place called close to the Dead Sea, obviously the lowest place on earth, thinking we'd come from the lowest place up to Jerusalem. Qasr is holy to the Christians, the Muslims, and believed to be the place where Joshua entered the land of Israel. One of the common arguments we get is there is no partner. We have meetings all the time with Palestinian women, but we don't know who is behind them. They say there are a lot of women behind them. However, Qasr el-Yahud happens also to be an Area C. That means that Palestinians can go in there without a permit. That was one of the ideas that we had for them to be able to come. So I'm standing there with a close, good friend of mine in the heat, and we watch the buses coming, and it's a wonderful feeling. You really see that you belong to a big, big crowd. And suddenly, we start seeing buses with white license plates. Now, the Israeli license plates are yellow. White are the Palestinian Authority. And they kept coming. My friend started crying and running towards the buses. I remained speechless. It was so moving. We were all together. We were 4,000 women, 1,000 of which were Palestinian women. We have a partner. Women joined hands, no words were needed, and we walked to the assembly area on the banks of the Jordan River. Later in Jerusalem, we were 20,000, but nothing was as powerful as those hours in the heat with our Palestinian sisters. In the recent weeks, there are marches in different places in the world inspired by that part of the march. Just 2 days ago in Munich, hundreds of women marched under the same picture of Qasr el-Yahud, and looking at the tape, I realized they're chanting, "Lo tisa goy el goy cherev, velo ilmedun od milchama," in Hebrew. And I see all those Germans walking with little white notes, reading Hebrew from it. It was unbelievable. Presently, we're starting our yearly project, and which is going to start, we're going to spend now 2 months working hard in 6 areas, and it's going to culminate in the second week in October in the desert somewhere with a big function. The cycle of wars must end. Yes, it's possible, and together we can do it. Thank you.